The early morning in Brooklyn, New York, is always damp, and the honking of taxis makes sharp echoes among the buildings. Water droplets condensed on the glass of the bakery. Smoky aroma of the bagels mixed with the steam of the hot coffee formed a warm barrier in the cold wind. Just then, a golden shadow staggered out from the alley entrance. Its emaciated body was wrapped in tangled hair, and every step it took felt like stepping on broken ice. A silent plea, the old woman. Ada had just bought the cinnamon rolls when she saw the dog sitting down at the entrance of the bakery. Unlike other stray dogs that wag their tails and beg for mercy, it just looks inside the glass door with a pair of walnut-colored eyes. The red light of the oven is reflected in its pupils, but it is filled with a desolation colder than the winter rain. "This look," Ada murmured, thinking of the golden retriever Sully, who had passed away 3 years ago. They are all waiting for someone who won't come back. Lena, the owner of the bakery, was placing Danish pastries in the shop window when she caught a glimpse of that golden mass out of the corner of her eye. She had seen too many stray dogs shivering on the street, but never one like it, with its front paws gently resting on the edge of the doorframe, as if questioning a long-lost code. When a young man in a leather jacket threw the bitten baguette into the trash can, the dog just tilted its head a little and made no sound from its throat. This silence tightened Lena's heart even more than the wailing. The warmth of the palm. When closing the store in the evening, Lena poured the remaining breadcrumbs into the trash can, only to see the dog pushing a faded photo with the tip of its nose. There is a young man in a navy uniform in the photo, with a little golden retriever in his arms. "So you were waiting for him?" Lena's voice was blown away by the wind. Suddenly, the dog raised its head, and the damp and cold tip of its nose touched her palm. At that moment, the hustle and bustle of New York suddenly subsided. Lena looked at herself in the dog's eyes and found that her haggard face was being illuminated by some familiar sadness. 10 years ago, she was also holding a photo at the airport waiting for someone who would never come back. The dog's paws gently scratched at her gloves, not begging for food, but conveying a kind of understanding that transcends species. "Come in, kid." Lena heard herself speak, her voice shaking like fallen leaves in the autumn wind. The spread of miracles the next day, regular customers of the bakery found an extra doghouse in the corner. The golden retriever, named Warm Sun by Lena, lay quietly. As she kneaded the dough, her tail would make a fine sound sweeping across the carpet. A wonderful transformation ferments in the air. The man in the suit who once shunned stray animals at all costs, now specially brings liver pat. The barista, who always complains about dog hair dirtying the floor, secretly hides a teething stick in the pocket of his apron. The most touching thing happened a week later. An old man wearing a Veterans Association jacket pushed the door open. Suddenly, the Warm Sun stood up and let out a low sob from its throat. The old man saw the old dog tag tied around the dog's neck. His hand trembled sharply, and the coffee cup clanged in the tray. "Akin." He tentatively called out his name. Instantly, the dog threw itself into his arms. Its front paws rested on the purple heart medal on his chest. Its tongue licked the tears at the corners of his eyes frantically. A gentle echo, it turned out, that when the old man was serving in Afghanistan, his military dog Akin stepped on a landmine while trying to save him. After retiring, he lived in guilt until he saw the dog waiting for him in the bakery. Now every day, Ajin follows the old man to buy bread. Lying at his feet and listening to him tell customers stories about the battlefield, Lena watched behind the cashier counter and suddenly understood that the moment their palms touched that day was not an accidental encounter, but the shared longing of two lonely souls for tenderness. Nowadays, the mornings in Brooklyn are still cold, but there is a fixed scene at the window of the bakery. The old man is sitting by the window reading the newspaper, Kin is dozing at his feet, and the sunlight passes through the glass, gilding them with gold. Passers-by will slow down their pace and smile at this scene. When in the concrete jungle of the city, stray dog awakens the tenderness in people's hearts with its silent dignity. And even the cold streets will blossom with gentle flowers.